I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Marcy. Can I have a roll call?
Sure. We have between Brian and Lexi. We got John,
Here.
Justin,
Here.
and Jeff.
Here. Thank you. Open it up for citizen comment at this time. Close it for citizen comment at this time. I'd like to recommend that we move Adam up next in the agenda before we approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the change.
I'll second.
All right.
Justin, aye.
Jeff, aye.
Motion carries. Adam, the floor is yours. Do we need the consent agenda? Do we want to approve the consent?
We'll come back
agenda
to it.
before? I thought we'd just come back to it.
That's fine.
I just thought I'd give Adam the rest of the night off.
He's got a soccer game, I think, or a baseball game.
He's got 7 more council meetings tonight.
I would rather be at the council meeting than go coach 3, 4, 5, and 6-year-old T-ball.
It's actually true.
So-
We can act the same if that helps.
You know, but then the issue is the longer I go here, then my wife would have to jump in and coach, and I don't know what's worse, me coaching or have to listen to her after she coached. So
Ouch.
I love my wife. However, her coaching T-ball is not
Nice
her
recovery.
forte.
Yes, recovery.
He's only saying that because it's recorded.
Yeah.
So before I jump into, the proposal, I'm going to walk through kind of what has transpired over the last couple years in regards to our work comp. So we've been with IMWCA for years, ever since I've taken it over, and I would venture to guess before I even took it over, years before that, okay? IMWCA is a pooled work comp company. They're not really an insurance company. So basically they take their members, they pool all the premiums that they receive, or they call them contributions. And then, that's how they pay out claims. Okay. So they don't follow Iowa's guidelines for work comp. Okay. And Iowa is governed by what's called NCCI, the National Accredited Council of Insurance. Okay. And so and I'm getting into the weeds because it'll make sense here in a little bit. So Iowa has a rule where we have rates, okay, and those rates are set by NCCI each year, okay? So if we're looking at a proposal and you go to the rates page and you can see, for example, like Waterworks, their rate for this year, the base rate for NCCI is $2.31, okay? Well, that's set by NCCI as a base rate. Insurance companies can deviate that rate 15% above or 15% below that rate, okay? IMWCA just uses the base rates. And then once you calculate all the premiums and based off our experience, then insurance companies can then deviate the premiums by 15%, okay? So they can give you a 15% credit, or a 15% debit. Since IMWCA does not follow those guidelines, they tacked on a pretty hefty surcharge, okay, that gave us a pretty big increase. So you can see last year we were paying a little over $11,000 and the premium doubled this year. Reason being is we have not had the best work comp history in the over the last 10 years, okay? So this year we had a pretty substantial work comp claim. So when I say loss ratio, basically what that means is easy math. We pay in $10,000 of premium. If we say we have a 100% loss ratio, that means we had a $10,000 claim, or claims, plural. This year we have a 726% loss ratio, meaning the insurance company has paid out 726% higher in claims than they have collected in premiums, okay? Our 5-year loss ratio is at 100%. And our 10-year is at 251%. Okay. So we haven't had a great track record, and it's not because we have a lot of claims. Unfortunately, we have one every 3 to 5 years, and that one seems to be a pretty substantial claim. Okay. I'm gonna pause. Questions on what I threw a ton at you in a short amount of time. Questions at all so far?
Adam, the only question I have for you, and it really isn't what you just spoke about, was did we receive a letter of conditional renewal or non-renewal?
No, because again, IMWCA does not have to follow the guidelines because they're not an insurance company. They're a pooled product, so they don't even send out conditional, and I know, so what John's referring to is in the state of Iowa, if an insurance company is going to give a rate increase greater than 25%, they have to send out a notice to their insured to say, hey, we're going to have a substantial change, and then they outline that. It could be a coverage change, it could be a pricing change. Unfortunately, since IMWCA doesn't have to follow those guidelines, we didn't hear about this until we got the renewal in mid-May. So what we did is we went out to what monoline work comp company. So companies that will do just work comp, everyone that we have that's licensed in the state of Iowa. And the only one that came back to give us a quote was Encova. Okay. I have no problems with Encova. They're a great company. They handle claims well. It is a savings compared to what we see now, about $3,000. So the good and the bad for Encova. The good is what we're seeing right now, meaning they have to follow state laws, and they can only deviate the rates and the scheduled credits by 15%. Okay. Where IMWCA does not have to do that. That's why their premiums are higher, because their scheduled debit is well above the 15%. Okay. The bad is if we turn things around, Encova can only go 15% in the good direction on both sides, where IMWCA can go even further. But with that being said, if we turn things around and start having good track records year after year, just note that we can always go back to IMWCA. There are no rules or regulations with them. I will warn you, though, as this claim for this year hits our experience mod will go above 1, and we're going to see even more of an increase. I will let Marcy and Annette know once it comes to budget season for next year. We can calculate your guys' experience mod and put together an estimated budget. We didn't foresee that IMWCA, because this is the first time I've ever seen them do this, where they actually have put a surcharge on someone. So in the 10 years I've been working with them, this is the first I've seen it.
Adam, I know you sent me the loss runs, but do you remember how many claims a year we average, say the last 5 years?
Yeah, I can pull that up here. And again, we don't have a ton of claims. So in 19 and 20, we had 1. 21 to 22, we had 2. 23 to 24, we had 1. So probably one a year. And so, for example, without giving out too much information, like the one claim was $3,000, another claim was $86, another one was $4,000. We had another one that was $8,000, and then $15,000. Oh, sorry, those are all one person. That was actually $81,000 for one person. So it's not the number that I'm concerned about, because we don't have a frequency issue. We have more of a severity issue, where it's the one claim that's $81,000.
So as I look at the loss runs that you sent me, if we were to take on a $5,000 deductible, that's not going to adjust the premium that much, because of the severity. It's not going to eat up much of the claim because it's a severity issue, right?
No, because unfortunately in Iowa, when we add deductibles to work comp, you actually don't receive any premium discounts. So unless you start getting into large deductibles of like 25, 50,000. So where we could see where it could help is where the city would just pay for those claims versus, you know, them heading our claims history. However,
The problem with that, Adam, is that you don't know if that $1,000 claim is gonna be $1,000 or $15,000 until after the fact, usually.
correct. And just so everyone's aware, most of the claims that I'm looking at are medical only, meaning like someone just went in to receive care and they didn't lose any time from work, except for this larger one. There was a little bit of disability, indemnity, they call it, that was paid out for lost time at work. That's where it really starts to impact your experience mod, because the medical is going to be discounted by 70% off of that experience mod. So when they calculate that, not all of it's going to hit it. The issue is I'm WCA. I just have a hunch that they're like, hey, we've really tried to work with the city of Piasta and things just aren't clicking, and we don't want their business anymore. Even though we continue to have tons of safety meetings, things of that nature, truly the things that have just happened, they're accidents. They truly are accidents. The one that's the big one, I don't know how you would prevent it besides saying like, don't do your job and we're going to outsource everything. I just don't know beyond that what could have been done differently. But unfortunately, John, as you are aware, insurance companies sometimes don't even look at it that way.
They know they spent some money.
Yeah.
So does IMWCA or NCOVA have any type of services that they could offer to help get our claims in line?
Yeah, so if I were to say one or the other, I think IMWCA actually, they really try to help. And I would say they're probably better than NCOVA when it comes to, the loss control services. The hardest thing is with every insurance company, they're going to come in and tell you, hey, here's what you need to do, and here's the website to go out and get these resources. The hardest part is then we have to execute on it, right? And I think all department heads have done a decent job with it ever since, we started this. Probably we've had a safety committee for 5 or 7 years, I believe. And they have regular meetings and they have to document when they have the meetings and discuss all of it. I mean, the example that the big claim we're talking about, someone fell off a ladder. I mean, it just happens. It was just an accident, So I would say IMWCA probably does a better job with the loss control than NCOVA. But I don't know if a loss control person or safety committee would have prevented that claim.
I mean, ultimately, you look at it, we paid last year, or up till this year, we paid in right around $11,000, and you have one claim and it gets you upside down pretty quick.
Yes. Any other questions? I mean, really, if it were me and I was in your guys' shoes, I would have no fear going to NCOVA. I mean, it's $3,000 that is a savings. And really, work comp is work comp. As long as they're, AM Best rating, meaning how the financial stable are they? They both are stable companies. I know we've been with IMWCA forever. However, sometimes change could be okay.
You good? Any other questions?
My thought is, I mean, like he said, work comp is work comp.
Yeah.
$3,000 is $3,000. And this large of an increase screams what Adam says is that we were going to offer you something, but we really don't want to do business with you anymore. Sorry, our claims are, they're bad compared to the premium that we have.
Yeah, when you double your premium, they're on their way. This is the first step.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not, if you just saw, if you saw it like level, you saw 4 or 5 other quotes, they're still, I mean, $3,000 is $3,000, but it's not like $5,000, or it's like we renewed at 11. And 19, you'd be like, yeah, that's great, we're doing fantastic, but I mean, I don't think there's gonna be any breaks coming our way anytime soon for the future. So we do 22. If we don't have anything happen, let's say we moved to Ancova, if we don't have anything happen, that 19 can kind of stay static.
Probably not, because our experience bond is
It's
gonna go up,
up.
Because of this year.
Because of the rest
because
of
it lags, it lags a little bit, so,
The rest of this payment.
How long is the lag?
what is it? Is it 3 years or
Yeah.
5 years, Adam?
So what's going to happen is this current year is going to be excluded for next year, so that most likely will not hit our experience mod, the claim. And I got to just see when the date was. This happened December of 23. So it's going to be next year's mod is going to be calculated off of everything, the prior 4 years excluding this current one. Okay, so next year we should be okay. And then the next 3 years, this experience mod from this claim, it's going to go up. So we're going to see for the next essentially 4 years, we're going to see high premiums if we don't have any other claims. And just to be prepared when that experience mod goes up, you could see your premiums go from 19,000 to 30,000 pretty quickly.
So we better start.
But that would, yeah, because that would be either one. They're both going to follow that path. And at this point, if we stay with MCWA, we're starting $3,000 already. So that's just going to increase every year. There's always going to be a gap between them.
So Adam, so you see it, obviously I am WCA, is that right? Is that right?
Yes.
They got a $7,000 surcharge. Have you seen them as that, call it the bad claim year gets farther out? Our mod still may be high, but that surcharge goes down to kind of help supplement the good years.
So to be truthful, I haven't seen where I've seen this high of a surcharge. So I don't know, but I still think that both insurance companies are going to want their money. I lean towards Encova being a little more favorable potentially when that mod goes up if we don't have any claims, because then we could say, hey, you're going to get your premium that you want. That experience mod is causing it to go up. So maybe you give us some more credit and we can try to keep some more flat. Where I'm nervous, WCA has seen, 10 years of not so good track record, that they got that knowledge. They're going to say, hey, we kind of know we got to keep getting this premium.
Right. I mean, if we have a good year, that means Encova had a profitable year for us, so they don't need to see a big bite because they're profitable at that point.
Correct.
It's still looking back and going, we paid out this, we paid out that, we still want to get that back.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess at this point, I mean, my recommendation would be Encova to just
I
switch
agree
to the
with that.
lower premium.
Is there anything goofy with Encova? Anything that we need to worry about? Loss control or anything like that?
No, as you guys are aware, couple things that are a little bit tougher to do. I mean, you guys have wastewater, sewer, police, garbage collection on there. I mean, those are some tougher risks. And they're fully aware of that. So I think what John is asking, just so everyone's on the same page, is sometimes insurance companies will want to do, once you write the business, they'll want to come out and do an inspection and say, hey, we're going to look at this. And then all of a sudden they're not going to want our business. I don't foresee that happening.
Okay.
What was the answer to that? Why?
So we have garbage because we have wages under the 670, which is the garbage and the compost.
compost.
Okay.
It's a smaller amount because there's not a ton of wages there, but it's kind of creeped up. So.
Alrighty. Any other questions at this time for Adam? All right. Thank you, Adam. Do we need
You're
to
welcome.
do we need to do anything
No,
tonight?
this is just a yearly
Yep, I
renewal,
thought
so
so.
we're good.
So I want to make sure, it sounds like moving forward with Encova then.
Yes.
That sounds like the recommendation.
And I'll reach out to you tomorrow on that.
Okay, sounds great. And then we'll get everything going. And I know Marcy, billing was a big thing, and we'll make sure to get that going. Just so you're aware, Marcy, Encova is going to be a little more lenient on their billing versus IMWCA. So
We'll
we'll be
probably pay
okay.
it after July 1. We'll pay it next week.
Okay,
Or I
That
can
sounds-
schedule it online or whatever, so just let me know.
okay, that sounds great.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Evan.
Okay.
Thanks, Adam.
Bye bye.
Have fun at T-ball.
Yes, thanks. Bye.
The excitement.
Mayor, can I ask that we move
Yes,
Weaver up?
we certainly can, with the approval of council.
Yes. Do we need a
You got
vote?
a ball game too?
Yeah, but I'm gonna miss it, yeah.
We can vote or we can.
I would take a vote.
Yeah, let's make it official. I need a motion and a vote.
I'll make a motion to adjust the agenda for Jake to
Yes.
go now.
I'll second it. Justin, I.
All right. Oh, well put. Jake, you have the floor.
Thank you. I apologize for being a few minutes late. So we had a bid opening Thursday. The bids were extremely competitive. We had 6 bids again, which is very abnormal for a smaller project this far into the construction season. The final engineer's estimate was $155,000. The low bid from Schick Fry was $91,821.30. Really the savings, I looked for major items, really the savings was pretty much across the board on all the items. Just very competitive, wasn't much separation between Schick Fry and Conley. We were kind of anticipating Conley would probably get it since they're already in town with the Kelly Oaks work, but Schick Fry beat them, so we don't have any reservations about Schick Fry. They're a longtime Dubuque contractors, so in the packet should be my letter of recommendation, recommending award, and I also have the bids for existing in-house, I don't forget.
Thank you.
And I did hear kind of a tangent. I heard from Dean today. Mary Calv wants to meet on Monday morning, so Dean and I are gonna go meet with her.
Okay, good.
Okay, great.
We had the easement drawn up to kind of show her what we're looking at, so.
And the delay behind that is that she's been out of town.
Questions for Jake at this time? Reason to not follow his recommendation to use Schick Fry.
Have you talked to them at all? You just had the bid.
Schick Fry,
We don't know what their thoughts are, when they're gonna get to it.
no, they hadn't offered any pre-con or anything, so. Let them know it's awarded and we start contracts, and they'll start scheduling in the work, so. I imagine it'll be like Kelly Oaks Park, it'll be filler for them as they get rained out or run into supply problems on another project to probably move it. Knock this one out, so. We did have a November 1st completion date, so it'll be done this year, but.
Then we go with the Schick Fry bid then?
Motion?
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Chick Fry awarded the project.
Second.
Strong.
It's all the work Comcast, you're all excited. Ooh, we're talking insurance.
I'm struggling tonight. John,
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. Yeah, you did warn us.
That new seat you're sitting in right now.
Yeah, that side of the
I'll
board.
scan an email tomorrow.
Don't want to sit over there.
I'll send the resolution and everything and send it out to you. Yep.
Now we need to go back.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
It's the Brian shit.
It's Brian's chair, that's it.
That's it. Getting in your head.
All right, circling back then, anybody have any questions?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Either party
No.
from them. Okay.
Justin's happy to say that this is his final time. Who's next? Saying that,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll let you know when we're ready for claims next time around. Get a pretty thick one.
No, John.
John, oh,
John did that.
Right away, I jumped.
Struggle bus.
you did yours early.
That's right. You jumped ahead of the
So
line.
Justin's happy to be done with that job. Thank you for your help.
And we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Yes.
I made a motion to
He
approve
did
consent
mention
agenda.
it, but
I'll second.
mention the motion.
Shall I?
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. HR committee. We set up meeting because you'll see the next item will be. So, yeah, I mean, I have no problem with having everyone meet, so we can have a public meeting.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
Just to kind of
Yeah,
transfer knowledge. So we'll set that up after the first.
next year.
Next year. Parks, anything to report from the parks?
Parks. No, not. Just getting this stuff ready.
Get
The
this stuff.
sidewalks,
Nice.
the trails, sorry.
Yeah.
There was some. I think Stacy asked about some committee members staying on that committee. I told her that I was gonna stay.
That gets posted anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she did ask that.
If we're covered.
I know she was gonna meet with Lexi and try to bring her up to speed.
Yeah, because Brian was staying as well. Any other questions about committees as long as? Not right now. Justin? Next up then would be the resolution authorizing budgetary year-end transfers for the fiscal year ending June.
And so I had a few other ones that I wanted to wait till the very end to complete, and I kind of put explanation out there on what these are. They're all budget approved transfers, but I just kind of wanted to wait. I was hoping to get a couple of the projects cleared out and finished and finalized before the end of the year to transfer money from the bond account to clear those up, but didn't quite happen. So these are just the last couple. The only one that really wasn't really talked about or planned for, but we do have money, you know, in the budget approved for transfers. So any transfers have to be approved in the budget for me to do them and then approved by resolution from you to have me process them. So we do have money available. The garbage fund is negative again, and last year we ended at negative, if you remember. So that was one little against us on the audit, nothing major, but I just don't want to end the year negative. So I'm proposing we transfer, it's not negative, the full 25,000, but when I start out next year positive, and then we'll kind of see with this garbage increase and the increase for Thunder Ridge for them allowing them to use the compost, kind of obviously, hopefully we'll be able to, you know, hold our own in that area and we won't have to take money out of the general fund to support that. But otherwise, we've kind of talked about all of them already.
That request. You will need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the authorization budgetary year-end transfers.
I'll second. John, I.
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. Moving on to resolution requesting tax abatement on city-owned property, Spiegel property north of former Riley property.
Yeah, the next two resolutions are a property that we've acquired, and this is to get them off the tax rolls.
Motion to approve.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution requesting tax abatement for city-owned property, Spiegel property north of Riley's.
I'll second. John, I.
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. Resolution requesting tax abatement on city-owned property, Spiegel property purchased south of Bard,
This is for the water tower.
the water tower.
I'll make a motion requesting, approving the tax abatement for the city-owned property, Spiegel property purchased south of Bard.
I'll second.
John, I.
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Carries. Next up. Resolution approving access easement agreement.
We're not going to
We're
take
not
action.
taking action tonight because.
Correct.
this-
And the backdrop behind this is, it's the property right below Penske. You have Bard, then you have Penske, and then you have the property that we just acquired for the water tower. Penske will not close on that property until they get an easement agreement with us. And then the property owner wants to know where the water tower is going to be sitting before any of this takes place. Steve Thompson was on vacation. He's back. He came back yesterday. So we're awaiting him to show an aerial to Mr. Spiegel. And then that will set the wheels in motion for Penske to sign the closing documents. And then we can bring the easement back to you for approval on July 9th.
We will need a motion to approve that. Oh, no, we're not, we're
No, we're
taking
not-
no action.
No action.
Sorry, I just get in that.
We were hoping it would be done, but it wasn't, so.
Close. All right, open it up for citizen comment at this time. Closing citizen comment at this time. Work session coming up next week. I will not be here. Did we look into what is listed on the work session?
We can go ahead and pull it up real quick. There's only one item on the July 9th meeting right now, but that is a little bit ways out. We can look at what's coming up for the second meeting.
We don't have anything specific to the work session other than the regular department head discussion type items.
The reason I'm asking is, I'd make a recommendation to not have the work session next.
Does that fall, is it the 4th?
We moved it to the second because of the 4th. So it would be Tuesday night.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. There's no reason.
If there really isn't anything to talk about.
So far on the 9th, the only thing that I have out there right now is the contract between the city and ECIA for the housing study that PEDC will be paying 50% for. That's it.
Did they ever move that timeline? Or are they still 6, 8 months out?
They're 5 months.
5 months out.
They're just that far behind with.
I think it's a staffing issue, but I think there's also a lot of data that they have to collect. And then once you collect the data, then you have to go through it and you have to make sure that you summarize it correctly. We are not paying the half, the PEDC is paying the $6,000. ECIA is getting federal money to pay for the other 50%. They're just using us as literally a conduit because they typically don't go into agreements with not-for-profits or for-profits. So
Okay.
it's just easier to go through a city because the federal government looks more favorable upon that because they know we're reliable, trustworthy, and solvent. And then the
So
next meeting, we'll take a look at the second meeting in July.
Probably nothing.
So literally, this is your
Nothing.
work session.
I mean, obviously, if some things
Yeah, it's
come up,
so
we
far
can,
out.
reach out, do something with either.
It may
either
mean that
getting
the 9th
together.
is a little bit longer of a meeting if there's more things to discuss as.
And if something comes up, we can always squeeze in a work session in between those
Yep,
two meetings.
yep.
But it's a holiday weekend, people tend to scatter. So
All right, well, at this point, we won't have a work session then next week. We'll let Brian and Lexi know.
Yeah.
Go from there. Anything else, anyone?
I will be on vacation Thursday, coming back next Monday. I will not have my laptop, but I'll take my phone.
Sean, do you know, hold down for.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Then I.
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. John had no trouble getting that out, did he? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You know, oddly enough, neither does Brian.
Thanks, everybody.